bass is just freaking delicious. Hello, my cutie potatoes, and welcome, motherfucker, back. We are here to listen to Korn. This is a song called Insane, and let me tell you, at the end of this reaction, I go down a rabbit hole that it's a little insane, but hey. What is the definition of insanity except doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? I went down a rabbit hole. What was the result I expected? No idea. But hey, stick around to the end of the video to find out. But before we do that, just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe. With that said, let's get into it. It's neat taxidermy.
Things keep ending up this way. Another notch is calmed away. In the thoughts of mass decay. Funny how things end up this way. Beaten down, dominated by its sound. Growing deep within my head. Softly dying, its soul is shed. Eating me all up inside. This cancer finds everything I hide. Living my life horrified. Nothing will keep this pacified. And now my life there's no right out inside. Satisfaction.
The heaviness that hits. The bass is just freaking delicious. Scrumdiddlyumptious is what it is. And then his vocals, da 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 da. Not that he does that. Did it. Things keep bending up this way. Another notch is carved away. It's like a very kind of easy flowing cadence that the lyrics follow. Sounds lovely vocally. And then you come in after that with this heavy, juicy, delicious freaking sound, and also paired with those harsh vocals. It is lurbing it. We're gonna look at the lyrics, but we're gonna just wait a little bit longer. Oh yeah. Wait. Okay, wait. One thing I do appreciate, because this came out in 2016, so this isn't, you know, Freak on a Leash, you know, like it's not that era. And so this is quote unquote newer stuff, even though it technically it's 10 years old. And I'm like, time, please. Please have mercy. It does not have mercy. It is 2016. So it's like, it sounds great. But what I'm trying to say is there are elements of this that are bring back that Korn early 2000s sound. Like you've got, I think there was some stuff in the beginning of this that also kind of like ringed a bell in my head. But just because we've stopped here and we're going back, you hear the scratching of the discs, you know, turntable. Rachel, don't do that again. Do you ever sometimes just do something or make a sound and you're like, I need to do that again? Is this so satisfying? And then, obviously, this is very creepy video. You know, it looks like this person is deceased and they are taking her portrait, which I guess they did back then. They would, like, put the body and take a photo. But when he takes a photo, it's like the ghost comes alive. So there's this creepiness to it, and then there's a chime that happens. If you just listen, just past the turntable part, there's a screechy screech. You can hear it, which just is an extra layer of that creepy. But what I was trying to say is there are moments in the music that is very much a throwback to kind of an early 2000s Korn sound, paired with their Korn sound. You know, like there's the vocals and the heavy, you know, very grungy metal that is going on. But then you have those, you know, little bits that are very kind of like a 2000 song that aren't, I mean, they're still used nowadays, obviously, but it's just kind of like a little bit of a, you know. But anyways, I went back, so we'll hear it again. That.
Satisfaction is delayed. Its motivation is displayed. Fun against my misogyny. Funny how I thought it'd go away. Beaten down, dominated by its sound, growing deep within my head, softly dying its soul is shed, eating me all up inside. This cancer finds everything I hide, living my life horrified. Nothing will keep this pacified, and now my life. There's no right or inside.
They're like, please, take her away. This is unhinged. Uh-oh. No, don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Oh no. And now bro is trapped. Curiosity got the better of him. Okay, there's a portion in that, and I don't know, actually, it's right here. It's like, ha, ha. Like it's like a laughing, ha. But anyways, just listen. Do you hear that behind the ha? No, ha. Like it's just like a ha. I guess I don't need to breathe out and breathe in at the same time, but ha. It's like his voice was the turntable. Anyways, that was super freaking fun. I loved how just grungy the freaking bass was. I liked the mix of the clean vocals and the harsh vocals. I loved the turntable. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback. You got the chime, which just adds, that creepy feeling to it. looking at the lyrics before we end here. Things keep ending up this way, another notch is carved away in the thoughts of a mass decay. Funny how things end up this way. Beaten down, dominated by its sound, growing deep within my head, softly dying, its soul is shed, eating me all up inside. This cancer finds everything I hide, living my life horrified. Nothing will keep this pacified, and out my life that's not right out insane. I'm constantly beat up inside and I'm the one to blame. No one can relate to me. That's not right out insane. So it kind of sounds like there's stuff happening internally. And it's almost like, because he says no one can relate to me, that's not right out insane. When someone says something is like, oh, that's right out crazy, or that's right out this, it's like, it's kind of saying it's very obvious, you know? And so when he says that's not right out insane, it kind of sounds like he's talking to himself and kind of trying to convince himself. Like maybe he thinks that he's crazy. And I think, you know, throughout the whole video, the photographer was seeing things and was trying to ignore it. But then, you know, at the end kind of fell victim to it and fell into it. And so I think it's kind of like a metaphor of, you know, having this internal struggle with yourself and being like, not necessarily super specific, like you're arguing with yourself that you're insane, you know? Like it could just be you arguing with yourself about something and trying to convince yourself you aren't something. If that makes sense. It's kind of like the more you fight something, actually, here's good. I got a book about what's it called again? Where is it? Oh, overcoming intrusive thoughts. I really struggled with that in my early 20s, and I've definitely gotten better. But basically, it's kind of like the more you fight what you're thinking, the more it's gonna be present. The more it's gonna come forward. So like, I would feel guilty about something. And I would sit there and be like, I don't need to feel guilty about this, or I didn't do this, or I was just trying to do this, or this doesn't actually mean anything. Like, and it was guilty over something that I shouldn't feel guilty about, you know, like it was just like, I don't know. Let's say I forgot to text my friend and my friend back the day that they messaged me or something, or I don't know, just something that I didn't need to necessarily, you know, beat myself up over. It could just be a simple, I apologize, I forgot to text you. I'll try and do better in the future. It could be that simple. Done. But I would overthink stuff to the max. So anyways, it's like the more you stress about it, the more you think about it, the more you try to convince yourself it's not a big deal, the more you try to push those feelings away, and that's kind of like the big part of it, the more you try to push away those feelings and not deal with them or not accept them for what they are, the worse it is. And that's kind of what I feel like this song is kind of about, you know? It's like, you're just avoiding it, and the more you avoid it, the worse it gets. You know, you might as well just sit with that icky feeling and then be like, okay, did anything bad happen? Did the sky fall? No? Wow, I totally thought it would, you know? Anyways, that's kind of what I feel this song may or may not be about. That's what I got from it. But you could get something completely different because we all look at music differently. But that's just my point of view on this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I definitely enjoyed this song. It is going on my playlist. And we should probably dive a little bit more into this album, because I didn't even realize that they had a 2016 album. Obviously, the most well-known Korn stuff is from, you know, early 2000s and stuff. But we should dive into this because this also sounds pretty freaking good. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my reaction to this. If you did, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you cutie patooties in the next one. Bye.